YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Big Pharma Strategy and Tactics Episode 1. So, if you caught my last series of Big Pharma, that was just more of a first impressions. Me just sort of poking around the game, kind of, getting a feel for it, showing off the beginner level, just scratching the surface. Well, today, and in this series, we are going to be doing more than scratch the surface. We are going to get ourselves started up here with a game on Advanced. All research, all cures, standard settings, the way the game is intended to be played. Largest map size, largest number of competitors, standard starting cash. So yeah, I figured this way I can show you all the goodies this game has to offer. Since we're going to be doing the even mo money here, we can go about it in pretty much any way we want to. I like these top level ones, which is just earn a total revenue. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now I'm going to be naming it the same I did in my look through here, Pinstar Productions. And we'll be going with Tess at the NES little sister here. Okay, now looking at this plot, not a big fan. Not a big fan. Yes, it does give us a lot of space to work with, but it's only 2 doors. It's only 2 doors, and everything around it, 2 doors right next to each other, Right here, This whole building right here, this building right here, this building is great later in the game. When you're getting into things like multi-mixers and doing some really complex chains and whatnot. But now, not so much. Now there is a golden sort of upgrade path for us here, because this cross building right here, this is probably the best building to start in. You don't have a choice in it; it's random. But we do have a golden upgrade path. Look at this. If we buy down here, that's three more doors. We get and that opens up the ability to buy this plot. 3 more doors, so that's 3 different pairs, 6 in total, and then with the dotted line that allows us to buy this, which is 4 doors in one purchase, which is awesome. So we kind of have a really good upgrade path, even if we have a lackluster starting area here. And we can open up some decent areas if we need something wider. It is going to be a little bit tricky working with these narrow hallways here. It depends on what our ingredients demand of us, and basically how complex do we need to make our cures. But we'll see if we can squeeze it in there. Now, speaking of, let's take a look at our ingredients here, because that is going to be that's random every game. All right, we've got Treats Diabetes down here at the bottom with Dry's Mouth mirroring every part of it except for the final one, but if you treat it all the way down to there, it's not going to be profitable. Painkillers has also increased blood pressure. Painkillers paying a bit more, but again, the only way to get out of the blood pressure zone is to overprocess it. You're not going to make money from a level 1 drug. So level 1 drugs at the moment suck. We're not going to want to touch them too much. Well, now painkillers can be upgraded with the evaporator, and diabetes, we need the ionizer. Alright, before we do anything else, I always go for an immediate hire of 1 explorer and send them to get whatever the 1 explorer is. Now, the spotted nipple wart gives us skin medication. Not a huge fan of the skin category. Would have rather had sexual health. That's probably my favorite category, and not for the theme of it. There's actually really good tactical reasons that sexual health is a good cure line. Let's see, blood medication, liver medication. Liver's not bad if you get the right upgrade path for it. And infection, poop. All right, so it looks like digestion. Yeah, it looks like we're not going to be able to get in on sexual health, at least until we open up the desert here. And even then, it might be far down on the desert. Right then. So, over here to research, the other thing I like to do, and this is a fairly aggressive build, is go for 2 scientists and have them each hired on each of these. not only does that open up our upgrade paths for our, for one of the two starting ingredients, but when we learn whatever our third ingredient is, we won't necessarily know what it's needed to upgrade, but by having both of these, we'll have them on hand. And both the first ingredient and these two finish at exactly the same time, so it's handy like that. Now, as far as planning on what we're actually going to be doing, which of these two, I can tell you right now, the AI is probably going to dogpile on painkillers, just because it is slightly more profitable for them, and because they're going to have to deal with side effects in both cases, they're not going to necessarily divert to treats diabetes for that reason. Now, as far as what are we going to do, well, let's take a look at our upgrade paths. Ooh, wow, that is... Now, you might be wondering, well, Pinstar, why are you getting so excited about Ace's migraine being at 214? I mean, hyperthyroidism over here is at 264. Heck yeah. Yeah, it is. But Ace's migraine tends to have a really, really large market share. I mean, look at all these sufferers. This is really, really strong. So you could duplicate the Ace's migraine a lot. And if you get lucky enough to have a decent upgrade path to the level 3, you can make some serious cash out of the pain line here, because pain medication's always a very reliable way of doing it. But hyperthyroidism is nothing to ignore. The treats diabetes, let's see, what does it start at? Diabetes, it starts at a 6, and we need to get up to a 10, and then ionize it. So a little bit more processing needed to go to the hyperthyroidism. Painkillers, you just need to get down to a 10, and then and it's easier to go down than it is up. Now, since we're dealing with long hallways here, well, not so much in this one. This one we can go hyperthyroidism, but for these, we're probably going to want to go for the migraine. So, all right, let's do our first one as hyperthyroidism, and then as we expand, we'll probably go into migraines. All right, so let's see here. Yes, diabetes. So we want to go up. So always two things to check for when deciding which door is going to be your import and which one's going to be your export. One is see which door works best for your first machine here. It's a lot more... The ideal is that you have the most contiguous space at all times. So this right here, this kind of bisects the space over here and the space over here. It makes this space over here a bit less useful. Over here, however, we're just sort of a two-tile extension of the wall. Everything beyond it is still contiguous space. So this is the ideal placement for this evaporator here, which means this would be the ideal place to import our stuff. All right, so we need 4 of these evaporators. Now, one other thing I advocate doing, this will help making your planning go a lot easier, is before you start going into all the rest of your stuff here, place the end of your line, your makers, be it your creamer, your pill printers, whatever. Place them early, and then hook them up to your export thing. That way you know what space is needed for the final leg of your journey here, and so that you can plan and work around it without, because the worst thing in the world is to get your whole line complete and then realize that, oh crap, I can't fit the machine that makes this into pills or creams or whatever, and now I can't bring it to market because I used up all my space there, or maybe I arranged my space improperly. So this helps you plan that out. Now, pill printers, since they have a cycle time of 2, you need 2 of them to get a fully operational line, so always use 2 when dealing with a line here. So we're going to set them up, get their belts up here. I don't know what the rest of my line here is going to look like, but getting this set up first, and also making sure it's nice and hugging the wall here, so we still have contiguous space. Means that I know what I'm working around. All right, so let's get some more evaporators going. Now this is what I like to call a little evaporator loop here. See, they're each touching end to end, but this one ends out 1 square away from where it started, so it's not a strict loop. So it's very space efficient. We're only wasting one tile here, and it's more or less contiguous. Now we need a fourth evaporator. But unfortunately, this isn't going to play nice with us. This one, an agglomerator would be great here, because then it would just poke out this way. But that's not in the cards here. Yeah, this last one's just gonna be this is just gonna be a thorn in my side. It's just gonna be a pain in the butt because it wants to be. That's how it be. Now see here, we know that we can't do this because then the output would block off, the input and the output would both block off our line here. So we know we can't do that. That's why it's good to put that there so we can plan ahead. I'm gonna flip it around and do this. It's not the most efficient, but at least we're still taking contiguous use here. Alright, and then after we hit that, we need to, hit it with an ionizer? We do need to hit it with an ionizer. Okay. Which also means we need to wait. And now, yes, we can wait here while we wait to invent the ionizer. But let us take a look at the painkillers, because we want to look to the future. What you really don't want to do is just sit on your money and not spend it, because going into the negatives is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you can't spend anything more, but if you've got your production line set up, that's not the end of the world, because they're making you money. So this needs to go to a 7 to a 10, it's a 13, and you need to go down anyway. So yeah, let's open up another line here, buy up another plot, and start a line of at least now painkillers, and then once we actually no, we don't need a specialized machine, so we can go straight to the migraines. Now, we do have a little bit more wiggle room here, although we're going to want to save that for the rest of it, because we don't know how much more processing we're going to need for the hypothyroidism. So let's just consider this area mostly off limits. I mean, if we poke a tile or two in here, that's okay. Now, again, we want to start out and figure out which... well, here's the other thing is, this is a 3-fer, and this is a 3-fer. We're probably going to want to pick between these two as far as our importer and exporter. That way this one can hook up with this one and these two can hook up with each other. That way you don't block off excess and waste slots. Slots are a tactical consideration. Alright, so let's see. Dissolvers. Aha! So another rule of thumb I like to have here is dissolvers go clockwise. This will save you a lot of sanity in the future if you remember this one rule. Dissolvers go clockwise. This is counterclockwise, and see, by trying to go this way, it's never, the arrows are in the wrong positions. But if you're trying to go clockwise here, then it works out nice and smoothly for you. So yeah, dissolvers go clockwise. It will save your sanity. Now, let's see if we can't do a little, let's see if we can't do something a little fancy here. Well, I might have to break my contiguous rule here, but actually no, this might work out better for us. If we go 1, 2, 3, again, clockwise, we get ourselves a nice block of 3 dissolvers that don't take up a lot of floor space, or non-contiguous floor space. There's still room for this one to grow, and obviously we're not going to be building anything here until we open this side up. But now we have our 3 dissolvers, and then I think, if I remember correctly, well here, let's start making this. Yeah, we need the evaporator to actually transform it. So actually, I think we can plug an evaporator straight in. Ooh, that's beautifully efficient. Beautifully efficient. So let's let the simulation cook a little bit. We're going to start our line up here. Oh, and while this is cooking, let's get our pill printers online. I'm going to put them all the way against the wall here, just so it's probably the easiest that way. That way I have the most contiguous space over here, so I know where they are. I know where I can go and where I can't go. Alright, so uses migraine. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. If we drop it down by four spaces here, then we are able to get our, we can dodge the blood pressure, which is not bad, especially since we do not have access to the creamer yet. The other reason I like this idea is, think about this. Somewhere in these 5 dots is the ideal concentration for eases migraine. We don't know it. We won't be able to know it until we get ourselves an analyzer. But think about this. If we just move it down to just this, the chances of the sweet spot being here are 1 in 5. The chances of the sweet spot being in one of these other 4 are 4 in 5. By moving our concentration beyond this 1 right here, then we have a 4 in 5 chance of making the drug better and a 1 in 5 chance of making it worse. And by moving it again, we still have a better odds of making it better, because that way it is no more than 2 dots away from the ideal, and we get to dodge the blood pressure. So in my opinion, I think this is worth the extra processing here, because it'll yield a better drug grade overall. Now, as far as getting this down here efficiently, space-wise, well, let's see if we can make it work with the solvers. We may need to wait for that ionizer. Yeah, I told myself I wasn't going to go in here, but let's see if we can get some extra goodies here without. No, that's not going to work, and that's not going to work because I know that's going to block off our access. Yeah, we're going to need to wait for our ionizer here to make this work properly. That being said, while we wait, yeah, we're just gonna. While we wait for our ionizer, we can still hook this up and just make some pain medication. Actually, no, we can't, because that's going to transform it. Never mind. Alright, fine. We're not going to be making anything for 3 months. We're just going to sit on our laurels, which is, I mean, it's fine. It's fine for the moment. What I actually might do is... I could buy up this plot and just make another thing, but again, since we're not making any money right now, it doesn't matter one way or the other. But I don't want to take a loan until we have the means of getting these things going properly. All right, so I'm going to put a quick cut here, and I will see you guys on the flip side once we've invented our. Okay, we are back. We had just finished our ionizers, and we also discovered our new ingredients, and we were notified of some new offerings of our competitors. Let's take a look at those. What did I tell you? Pain Zapper, Pain Stomper, Ache Reliever. Yes, my friends, they all dogpiled into the painkillers, and the painkillers at minimum effort are not doing so good for them. So not only are they spiking the ingredient cost, but the value of their drug is going to be crap. And they're going to take some financial punishment. Now granted, they're making a little bit more money than I would have been, since I'm making 0 money, but I'm saving myself here. But we got, more importantly, we got our ionizers online, so it is time to kick some butt here. Yes, let us ionize. We'll start with the diabetes. Yeah, here we go. I might have to take a loan, just because we've bled cash a little bit more here. And actually, yes, we do need the ionizer here. Actually, that works perfectly. That goes in here, and then that can go straight to the to that. So we've got that line going. This line we need to find out what actually is needed for more processing once it's been transformed by the ionizer, but at least we'll start making cash here. Because yeah, it needs to go down by 4, so 1 more dissolver plus an ionizer will make that work. And this hyperthyroidism dodges dry mouth, so we can go up that way. Now, since we've got some extra room to play around with in here, let's do it all with the evaporators rather than going to the agglomerators here. Just so we can get a little bit more room here. Again, we're looking for contiguousness. That's not going to work. That. Now here, yes, we could put it right here, but I actually like putting it right here. because it gives us room to do a spiral. See, time for a loan. Yeah. Now, on the subject of loans, let's see what is being offered here. So, now you might say, well, Pinstar, why don't you just grab the one that's the lowest interest rate, right? 18%, that's the lowest interest rate. Nope, that's not the one I'm going to take. The loan I always take is the one with the lowest daily payment. I don't care how much it's for. I don't care what the interest rate is. All I care is what's the daily payment. Here's the reason. Loans are there to help you invest in your stuff earlier on so you can make a profit later on. The other thing is there's no penalty for the early repayment of loans. So yeah, if I sat on this for the whole 3 years and they bilked me for 24% interest rate that whole time, yeah, that's going to sting a little bit more than just the 12 months at 18%. But guess what? I'm probably not going to hold on to this for the whole 3 years. I'm probably not going to hold it onto it for a whole year. It depends on how what the profitability is going to be like in the drugs down the road. So I'm going to go with the loan that is the lowest daily payment. Bink. Thank you, Alpha Loans. All right. So as I was saying, yeah, we're going to go down. We're going to go one space down here because that's going to allow us to do a spiral, just like up here. We get to do an evaporator spiral. One up here, and heck, we can do a wide spiral since we have the extra space here. One up here, and one up here. Loop you around, loop you there, and boom. Now we just need one more evaporator, and we've got this whole area. So we've made ourselves way more space than we need. But that's a good thing because later on, when we have the analyzer, if the analyzer tells us that hyperthyroidism actually likes a couple more evaporators, guess what? We've got a little more space to expand to tweak our formulation. Heck, we could do that right now if we wanted to play the odds on the evaporators here. Or on the hyperthyroidism. And you know what? Let's do that. Let's play the odds. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm just gonna do one more, just because it fits cleanly. One more evaporation, one more extra little thing here, just to give us little oomphs right there. So that's going to be 2 whole lines cooking in here. Let's see them through to the end so we can name them, see their profitability, and then decide based on that, also the new ingredient, which I haven't looked at yet, what is going to be our next product line. And also making sure that everything is coming out properly. This is the proper formulation right there in the middle, dodges the blood pressure. Oh, when you get notice of you need to name a drug, pause immediately before you click on any of the icons, because otherwise when you're naming it, the game will continue running and the production line won't keep moving until you've successfully named it. So what are we going to call this? Migraine? Migraine? Not anymore. And there we go. So we got migraines, medication, $85. Not great for a standard level 2, but for migraines, they tend to pay poorly. So 85 is not that bad. However, let's take a look at the hyperthyroidism here. 106. Oh, actually, no, that's before the pill printer adds on its bonus here. That's actually still 106. And of course, there's only one name that I can think of that's really appropriate here, and we call it the Thigh Master. There we go. So the Thigh Master is our more profitable thing here. Now, let us diabetes. All right, don't care about diabetes. Now, let's take a look at our markets here. Well, actually, let's let the simulation cook for a few ticks here, and then look at our markets. See, we've already cured 10 people, and we're only at 4% saturation. So the market here is huge. So we can make a lot of lines of Ease's migraine and still come out ahead. Hyperthyroidism, We've only cured 2 people, and the market's already at 3% saturation. So the market here is much smaller. So we wouldn't be able to necessarily spam out too much more. Too many more lines here. Now that being said, I do think most drugs have room for at least 60. Yikes! What do we got here? Diabetes. Yep, they're all fleeing the pain meds and going to diabetes. So they can't make up their mind here. Now, since we've been putting it off so long, let us take a look into our new ingredient in the next episode. So if you like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment. Good, bad, or indifferent, your feedback is always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar, signing out. See ya.